So as an internal auditor, if we have to go for an audit, so what are all the areas that we should look into it? That is what. So these are all the major areas, the highlighted one. So there can be other areas, but like last time we had other points and all coming. So it could be vendor management, then Indent, what to buy, W, one of the W, what to buy, RFQ, from whom we'll have to buy, or from whom all we'll have to buy. That is the question. Then we have, so from whom we will buy, then tender submission, tender opening, tender scrutiny, comparison, approval, order placement, from whom we should place the order, then receipt, inspection, goods receipt, payment. This is the total gamut of any P2P activities. That is what we were studying. And then we specifically discussed about vendor management last time, that it could be vendor registration. Then if to see what are all should be there in the vendor master, we have so many things, that vendor registration system and vendor performance and vendor evaluation, vendor rotation methodology. Some of the companies have this vendor rotation methodology, especially in the PSUs and all. When we have the public procurement policy in place in many other government companies and PSUs and all. And on the Indent side, we discussed there should be an Indent scrutiny group, a committee, task force, whatever we can call. They can check the stock availability and what is the consumption pattern. Why suddenly a particular department is asking, or a particular shop is asking for more materials. They go into all those details, and whether somebody has reserved the stock and not used it, so that whether it can be released and whether proper authorization is available. And if it is so, or if it is not so, what is the issue? All those things we saw it on the last week. Now, before we proceed, do we have any discussion points on these things what we now saw? That is what I want to know from all of you, please, before we proceed. Yeah. So you can share your view. I think I hope I am audible. Am I right? I'm audible, isn't it?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
So can you, Kartik or someone, can you start the discussion so that it will be good for us? Can you on the Indent and vendor management to start with? Later and we can proceed to others.
What specifically you are talking about, sir?
See, as an internal auditor, when we go, what all we are supposed to see at,
okay, from vendor management perspective, we have to see is there any alternative vendor apart from the current vendor that you are using, or is that a very specific product that we have to purchase only from that particular vendor? We have to cross check it. And is all the purchase made with various vendors have been done after execution of the purchase order with the vendors? And is there any agreement that we have got into that vendors? Those kind of things that we have to cross check, sir.
Okay, that we will see once when we are coming to RFQ. When we are for quotation. I am now talking of vendor management per se. How do what kind of a registration system I should have? We welcome Vadivel who will join. What kind of a vendor registration system we should have? What kind of the details of a vendor?
Predominantly, we'll be asking for their PAN number, GST registration, their place of business. Is there any other factory apart from the registered office and their main factory? Do they have any other factory? Those kind of details we would be asking. And if it, to be more specific, sometimes some people could ask for the list of directors and all some vendors used to ask. So those kind of details that we'll be providing, sir.
Okay. As an auditor, what else you will have to look from vendor management side? As an auditor.
As an auditor, sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it, sir. I've never been into internal audit, so I'm sorry, I'm not aware of it, sir.
No issue. You see, one is you are from the auditing side, you can discuss. I'm looking from the auditor side, what else we learn. Like last time Mr. Vadivel came with a point, we will have to find out whether the vendor is a specified vendor. I mean, what is called. Vadivel, you are talking, on the income tax side. Vadivel, are you there on the call? See, suppose he has made defaulting in on the income tax side, so he becomes a specified person. Then when you are going to do a TDS, in case you have to do TDS, especially on the work contract, then you may have to double the TDS. So these are all some of the provisions from the income tax side. So we'll have to look into all those aspects also when we are looking into the vendor. And
one thing what I have seen this majorly as I have dealt with the GST, their GST filing records that has been very importantly monitored by every company, sir. Whether the vendor files his GST returns on time.
okay.
That one has been monitored very keenly, sir.
So vendor's performance as far as the GST is concerned, this is also very
yes, sir. Because when I am going to purchase something from him, he has to file the GST R1 returns on time. Then only I can take the input. So that particular aspect of GST is very important when it comes to knowing about the vendor, sir.
True. I fully agree. That's a good point, which we will have to take care. And we will have to find out, in case we go for an audit, we will have to find out whether the company is concerned about all these things, whether they are collecting details about the vendor, because, as you rightly said, if this vendor is not compliant with all the other things and all, then maybe you can't, your ITC gets into a problem, your input tax credit gets into problem, then that increases your material cost, which brings down your bottom line and increases your cost of production. So this is a very important point. Vadivel, you wanted to say something. I saw you trying to say, Mr. Vadivel. Okay, any other point? Vadivel can join. Any other point on the vendor?
Even last time discussion, maybe Vadivel sir only told that in vendor we have to check bank number, vendor bank number, and whether if MSME vendor means we have to know about the vendor, and ISO certificate, this and all means we have to collect the details from vendor. It is for our purpose.
Yeah, true. And especially MSME vendor, you have got a statutorily, there are some provisions on the payment and all. That also, when we are looking at the payment sub-module, we will see what is definitely to be looked into. That's a good point. Thank you. And on the Indent side, which we just now saw, we should whether the company, whether there is any task force or a group or a committee team, whatever name it is there any internal control mechanism whenever an Indent comes on the scrutiny of Indent? That is what we should be very careful whether the company has got this kind of a system or all whatever comes, whether they are taking into buying. So that is a very bad system. So we will have to tell the company, by this is not done and this cannot go on like that. That is what the important thing. I had only given some other points. Stock availability, consumption pattern. Suppose you take some of the let's say some consumption of spare parts and consumables for that matter. If one particular department or a particular shop floor is suddenly asking for more on the Indent, then we'll have to find out why they are asking for more material to be bought, because there is no material in the stock. That means the consumption has gone up. Why it has gone up compared to last 2-3 years? If the production is not going up, why the consumption has suddenly gone up? All these questions we will have to ask at the indenting stage itself, so that you are able to correct things before something goes on abnormal. That is what we should see. And then there are a lot of other things on the proper authorization, indenting, and reserve stock is being used or not also. Right. Any other point from anyone before we proceed? Anything? Or can we proceed